Hey kids, it's Daddy again. Hey kids, it's Daddy again. Episode 5, how fast? It's the 23rd of September, time is 10:30 p.m. We just finished an episode of Ouch My Money. Way back, months back, we decided to do a show um, about people and money, right? And how people's relationships with money. So tonight, I want to talk to you guys about figuring out what you want. So as of this recording, Arya Adam, both of you are 5 and 2, and there's a lot of things that you want. Mostly revolves around candy and playtime and everything that both of you want to do. And I want to reflect about how I figured out what I wanted to do. As you grow up in the next decade or so, lots of people will ask you, what do you want to do or what do you want to be when you grow up? And I never understood that question when I was growing up. And when I finally did understand that question, it still took me years after that to figure out what I wanted to do. And so there's two ways to figure this out, in my opinion. Number one is to try as many things as you can and then find one that you enjoy and that you can see yourself doing well forever. And number two is figuring out or just saying what you don't want to do. In both cases, you need quite a bit of experience, you need quite a bit of exposure, you need to go out into the world and see what's available. So here's a story, how I figured out what I wanted to be. So way back when Daddy was a teenager, or in fact even before teenagers, right? Before I was a teenager, people kept asking, Afiq, what do you want to be? What do you want to be when you grow up? And that point, it was your typical Asian. I want to be a doctor. I want to be an engineer. I want to be a scientist, a lawyer, an architect. It was just variations on a very similar theme. I had no idea. Being not even a teenager, it was all these were what my parents wanted me to be, right? In their minds, having a professional qualification, you could be a working professional, means you could earn a comfortable living. And when I hit my teens, I discovered computers, right? Way back in the 2000s, I was relatively good with computers. And so my dad was like, okay, you're going to go into IT. You're going to information technology. You're going to go into technology and you're going to like it. I wanted, at that time, I was thinking I wanted to go into media and communications because, I thought I was interested in it. But no, my parents decided, no, you're going to go through the technology route. And so, one of my first qualifications was a diploma in information technology. And I was shoehorned into it. And don't get me wrong, I was good at it. It was relatively fun. And the first 3 years, that was how you got your polytechnic diploma. When you watch this, I don't know if that's still the case. I was good at it. I was okay. But I was slacking off. And then the army happened. And I realized the importance of having a goal, having drive. And that's what the army really gave me. And so I was still very green even after the army. And the first thought was, okay, so everybody needs a degree. At that point, everyone wanted a degree. And so I said, okay, since I've got a diploma in technology and computer science, let's get a degree in computer science. And I spent a year overseas to learn computer science. I was really good at it. Straight A's. Hooray for Daddy, right? Straight A's. And I graduated. And so by now, I was already in my early 20s. And I had been in the school system for, say, about 15 to 17 years, right? In terms of experience, what did I have? Remember, I was a latchkey kid. I was at home a lot, and my only exposure was computers, TV, not very many friends. And even then, even in the army, it was, really just computing for me. And so after after I graduated, I got a job in technology. It was a stock market software company. By that time, my hobbies were quite limited. I was into reading. I love fantasy novels, fiction, by the way, sci-fi and fiction. Playing video games, and that was pretty much it. So if you understand this, my circle, my influence, my sphere of influence is very, very small. I didn't really know much about the world out there, even after going through the army. And so I got my first job, and it was in IT. And interestingly enough, it was in stock market software. And it was a software firm that dealt with, well, stock market dealing software, brokering software. My role was to really install the software to servers in the region. I had to fly here and there, and I met a lot of people. I was still very much in tech, so the people I met were in tech, but my end users were, stockbrokers, stock dealers, and they exposed me to finance. They were talking to me about investments, and so on. And my team, who I worked with, was also very much into investing and investments, specifically stock trading. And so my sphere of influence started getting bigger. I started meeting more and more people. I started understanding that there was more to the world than just, tech. And I'm going to cut the long story short. Some of my uncles came around and said, hey, let's start a business. And so I got exposed to business. And in business, I started getting exposed to different kinds of businesses. We had clothing. I tried my hand at catering. I tried my hand at personal fitness, like consulting. And then Daddy went into banking, right? And so this spanned almost about 8 to 10 years over time. I started learning bit by bit, and starting to understand that there was so much more to life than just computing. And so fast forward to today. This is 2020. A few years ago, I decided that my forever job was going to be in personal finance because I really, really enjoyed it. Now, it's a really far away from where I started, which is computer science. And now, as of today's recording, I want to do personal finance, and I want to build a business out of personal finance. And so while you're watching this, how do you figure out what you want to do? Right? How do you figure out what you want? Here's the thing. There's 2 ways. Number 1, figure out what you don't want. Number 2, go out there and try as many things as you can. Because today, if I look at my resume, I look at the list of stuff I've done over the years, it's very colorful. It's varied. There's so many things that I've tried. And I'm very clear on what I want and what I don't want. But it takes time. And so my advice to you kids is try as many things as you want. Never ever feel forced into trying something. And always remember, you always tell Daddy that if you don't want to do it, just don't do it. Just remember to tell Daddy that. Okay? And so as you grow, I will be there holding your hand, watching you trip, fall, helping you up, pushing you along. And I'm going to expose you to as many things as I can. I want you to try out, experience life as much as you can, so that hopefully you can figure out what you want to do. You can figure out what you want. It's only by trying different things and determining what you don't want. That's where you'll arrive at what you do want. Okay? So this is Afik. I love you very, very much. I see both of you very soon.